chains and set us free. Riders on the prairie, wild and free, bows and arrows, cold 45's decree. No more tyranny, no more lies, under open skies we rise. Fight, fight, fight till we reclaim the night. Cowboys and Indians in the blazing light. Fight, fight, fight till the dawn is near. We'll never live in fear. On the blood moon, we all unite. Horses thunder in the night. No longer slaves to the empire's might. Strength in numbers, strength in rise. We'll rise. From the blood moon we unite. Horses thunder in the night.
Welcome you guys to another beautiful day, at least out here in Washington State. It didn't rain much today, but I thank you guys for joining us tonight on the Cowboys and Indians podcast. With me, of course, is my co-host, Steve. How you doing today,
What's
Steve?
going on? Oh, man. So I went downtown Houston this past weekend, and you know what? It's a lot different being 40, going out to the club. Had a few old fashions, and I was like, man, these drinks hit stronger than it used to.
Yeah. Also, you get tired a little bit sooner, and you start feeling all the creaks in your body. You're like, all right, maybe I don't want to be out here all night.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it was at like 11 p.m. But we stayed out till it was like 1. But it was a good time. A very good time.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, man. Happy belated birthday. Was it your birthday weekend, or are you just saying because you're 40?
No, it was my wife's cousin. She came into town. They
okay.
they live in Louisiana, and we went down and had a good little time.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, how the heck did I miss this? How did I miss your birthday? But now it was my birthday weekend a couple weekends ago, and we had a nice Halloween party. I dressed up as John Smith. My wife dressed up as Pocahontas. We tried to appropriate each other's cultures. It was a lot of fun.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I turned 40 back in May, and so I'm gonna turn 40 from now on.
No,
Every year,
okay.
I'll be 40.
You know, I hear from 30 to 50, it goes pretty quick. So, you know, I'm at 33. I'm not too far behind you, but I got a long way to go.
Yeah, man. So what we got in store for tonight? There's a lot of things that kind of broke yesterday, especially with the whole Donald Trump going to McDonald's. The memes that have been coming out since then have been incredible. The McDonald's and Nick loving it, or MAGA loving it, all kinds of crazy stuff. I've enjoyed these last 24 hours.
Man, so have I. And thank God for Elon. I say this all the time, but really thank God for Elon Musk buying X, because I mean, the experience that I've had on social media has been drastically different from what I experienced 4, 5, 6 years ago. Back, I had a Facebook, and anytime you shared something politically, it would, you know, get plummeted. But it is just, oh no, I did it again with the camera. Stop it. I gotta fix this camera here. But you guys, as you know, Donald Trump, he did work a shift at McDonald's. Now the left has lost their minds with Trump doing this. This is actually one of the most hilarious things to see, is all of these leftist fact checkers coming out and saying, well, they actually closed the McDonald's and it's not a real shift. Like, he didn't actually go to a random McDonald's and serve like random customers. I mean, how do you even respond to something like that, Steve?
It's like, oh my God, guys, Donald Trump did not complete an I-9 form for pre-employment, and he's not getting a W-2 next April. Oh my gosh, guys, he didn't actually work there. Of course it was staged. Come on. Like, this was the whole idea behind it. It was the idea to get the left enraged behind this, because Donald Trump is the master of trolling. And what he did was he trolled Kamala because she has not been forthcoming about actually working there. And I do believe that someone posted evidence that she didn't. I'm not 100% sure. I kind of wait things out on the internet. But it's been glorious, and this is exactly what Donald Trump wanted.
It really is. And as far as I know, McDonald's did put out a statement saying that they don't have any record of Kamala Harris actually working there. So believe it or not, Trump actually has worked at McDonald's for longer than Kamala Harris. He is a man of the people, and I mean, if you guys know Trump, he is actually one to frequent fast food joints because in a lot of ways there is a certain routine that fast food joints have and a way that they
Mhm.
prepare their meat certain ways so you're less likely to get food poisoning. As far as I know, that's his logic. So but yes, this was staged purely because of security reasons. Obviously, he's not going to go to a random McDonald's. He's had multiple attempts on his life. The Iranian government has basically came out and said, "Hey, we want to take out Donald Trump." So why? Like,
Mhm.
the funny thing is about this is that at that McDonald's this last weekend, when Donald Trump was there, they vetted more people than Kamala Harris has in her entire reign over the last 4 years at our southern border.
Ooh, ooh, that's a very, very good point on that. And what Dion Saul was saying, it was a security risk. So absolutely. I, I mean, this is probably the first time. Well, actually, it is the first time in American history where there were snipers on the top of a McDonald's. So
Oh my
I just
gosh,
find that,
yeah.
I saw some of the pictures and I'm like, man, that's probably the safest McDonald's in American history.
Hmm.
And little, I guess trivia. Do you know what Donald Trump's favorite food is?
Mm, I do not.
Specifically.
Specifically, maybe a
Mhm.
I don't I don't know.
It is the fish sandwich from McDonald's.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Ugh, that sounds
I mean,
terrible.
that man loves that. He gets it all the time. So it's all American kind of capitalistic success story. McDonald's being one of the largest chains in the world, and I mean, if you go to McDonald's around the world, which I have, and it tastes exactly the same, which is kind of crazy.
Hmm. So, Tim Waltz had a little something to say on The View. Somehow, in his quest to prove that he is a masculine man, he went on The View to attract all the masculine lefties. And this is what he had to say about Trump working at McDonald's.
She actually worked in a McDonald's. She didn't go and pander and disrespect McDonald's workers by standing there in your red tie and take a picture. She actually
Bro,
So, well, guess what, Tim Waltz? I actually deployed to Iraq. I didn't pander around the military like he did for 30 years, being a leech on the government. So if you want to actually go there,
shots fired.
I ain't holding back tonight, guys.
Yeah, good. In all reality, I mean, Tim Waltz has zero room to talk about this. And there's no evidence that Kamala Harris ever worked at McDonald's. And he actually made fries. He was making meals and handing them to customers. Of course, he's not
Yes.
going to get paid by McDonald's and he's not going to like do a random shift with random people. No, they have to be vetted, but he still
Yes.
did the work. He was still working at a McDonald's. So, in all reality, yes, he did work at that McDonald's and he has worked at McDonald's for longer than Kamala Harris, at least by all available evidence. Tim Waltz is a fraud, and I love that you bring this up about him because he's lied about his rank
Mhm.
several times.
Yes.
I mean, this guy is a habitual liar. And
And a
and
CCP asset.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's visited the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, he's gone over there at
Mhm.
least 20 plus times. I think it was reported that it's been 30, but then they kind of like pulled it back to like, oh no, it was only 20 times. But still,
Yes.
like, why is he going and visiting them? And why was he lying about being at Tiananmen Square? I mean, there's
Yeah. What these people aren't realizing is they're now stuck in this position. Oh, he's an expert marksman. No, he wasn't. Leftists
I'm
right
at
now
pull that
are
up.
put in a position where they have to actually run with these stories now. If someone says something that's so anti-Trump and so outlandish, they have to run with it, because if they don't, and they start backpedaling on the rhetoric against Trump right now, then they're going to lose all credibility and on what they were trying to build Trump out to be. So now we have him working at McDonald's, the only president, mind you, or presidential candidate to actually work at a McDonald's. He has survived 2 assassination attempts. He's been arrested 4 times, 91 charges, over 200 years in prison. He is the first president to actually fight for the American people. And when you have these cowards like Tim Walz that actually want to go out. Oh, by the way, he went on The View today. Shocker. Another cackling woman on the set on The View. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I'm just fired up right now.
Well, check this out, because Thaddeus brought up a good point about him being an expert marksman, because apparently on The View,
So you're out hunting
just go ahead and listen for yourself. This is actually hilarious.
pheasants.
Yep.
Is that enough to convince people there's a middle ground on this issue? Because right now, right wingers are coming after you for how you handle your shotgun.
All them radical right wingers. They're
She almost, dude, that was almost a Freudian slip. She almost said white ringers. Did you catch that? She was that close to being white supremacist. And, man, it's crazy. I don't. Oh, The View. Ugh.
Well, I
don't
can
know how
shoot
many
better than all of
white
them.
people
I got the trophies to prove it.
So you're out hunting.
So there it is. He's got the trophies to prove that he'll brag about carrying weapons of war in war, right? Although he never did. He never saw combat.
Right.
And he actually retired early, losing his command sergeant major rank, which is why he actually doesn't have that rank, because he never completed the training, because he retired early to avoid getting deployed. And so all of these trophies he has are basically participation trophies and shooting at a range. And he's like, yep, I'm one of the best. It's like, you know, this generation now, the millennials are said to be the generation that has experienced participation trophies all throughout their life. But it sounds more like Tim Walz has a lot more participation trophies than I do, and I'm a millennial.
Right. And he said I could shoot the best of the best. Well, you know what, Tim Walz, I challenge you to a day at the gun range, and I promise I can outshoot you. I actually have an expert badge with the M4. So if we really want to go there, this guy, I don't even know anymore. Like, the 2 worst, these people, the candidates right now are effing jokers. I don't understand why Kamala Harris was rated the worst president in American history literally less than a year ago. And now she's supposedly tied with Donald Trump, who's actually been president. Come on. That's insane.
It really is. And there's no reason why she should be taken as a serious candidate. As you brought up earlier, Polymarket. Now, I know Polymarket is not like one of the what is it called?
Like legitimate poll, like political poll type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't see it as legitimate, but it's actually people putting money down. Right. And right now, what did you say it was at there, Steve?
Donald Trump actually just posted it, and I put it on my page if everybody wants to go see. The current Polymarket right now is Donald Trump at 64%, Kamala Harris at 35%. And this lead is just continuing to grow. This is crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a phrase: "Follow the money," right? Follow the money with COVID origins and all this other stuff. Look what's going on right now. People are betting hard on Donald Trump.
Yeah, and in all reality, the more Kamala Harris talks, the less people tend to like her, and that's been the case for quite some time. That's why they tried to run this. They put her in late, and they've tried to keep her away from all interviews. And I mean, even on 60 Minutes, they changed her interviews, or they changed her answer to make it look better than it actually was. I mean, there's so many issues that Kamala Harris has had. I mean, just the other day at one of her rallies, when someone shouted out, Jesus is Lord, she said, oh, you're at the wrong rally. And of course, the narrative came out where they're like, oh, that wasn't actually true. She wasn't actually responding to that. But then, of course, with having X, we have the proof, we have the videos,
yes.
and it absolutely was true. Somebody shouted out, Jesus is Lord. And she said, you're at the wrong rally. And believe it or not, you guys, America is a Christian nation. I don't care if you believe, if you're religious or not, if you believe that Jesus Christ is your savior, or if you believe in the Great Spirit, or if you believe in Allah, or whatever you believe in. The United States was built on Christian values. And I mean, once you declare that you don't want people who follow Jesus at your rally, I mean, especially in that way, like a mocking way, and everybody in the crowd cheered, like, ha ha ha, look at that idiot, he thinks that Jesus Christ is Lord. It's like, well, he is. And it is insane to me that a presidential candidate would come out that blatantly against it.
That is what you call a line in the sand, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a Christian and you believe Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, this is the line in the sand. She has made it clear that Christianity is not at the forefront of anything to do with the Democrats. Now we can go into abortion and all that other stuff, but she made it publicly clear. This is very different than other politicians. Other politicians would have just said, get that guy out of here. When she publicly stated, you're at the wrong rally, this was a test. This test was to see how she would react to something like this. And she's made it abundantly clear Christians are not for her.
There's a reason why people say that the Democrat Party is a death cult, because they don't support families. Now, they say that they do. I mean, I shared a tweet earlier today in regards, it was Ben Stiller and Kamala Harris's husband and her daughter and another guy. I don't even know who he was, but they were basically saying that for our daughters, we need to vote for Kamala Harris so they can keep their rights. And it's like, well, what about all the daughters that are being aborted? How are you going to say, like, I literally do not understand how that is even a talking point for them, how they can come out and say it's for our children so that they can exterminate their children before they even have a voice to speak for themselves. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And the more radical they get, the more radical my stance gets, because obviously in the 90s, it used to be, what is it? Safe and rare, basically, is what they used to champion, that your abortion should be safe and rare. That was their big talking point. But now they're like, as long as you have the baby in the womb, you're allowed to kill it. And that, to me, is I mean, that is so far beyond what can even be conceived as acceptable. And I've never had somebody debunk my abortion argument, because it can't be debunked. If we, the United States, we have an understanding that our rights are granted by God, and that all men are created equal, and that we are endowed by our Creator with these rights, meaning that we don't have a choice in taking somebody's rights away. It is our responsibility to recognize those rights. And even if you just go by the science, that human life is created at the zinc spark during fertilization. And every stage beyond that is a stage that every human today has gone through. Every single stage past that spark, that zinc spark, every single human who is alive today has gone through all those stages. Now, if that is the case, then how is it not our responsibility to recognize those rights to the unborn? And I mean, my son was born, I think 4 weeks early, 3 weeks early, a couple weeks early. I don't remember.
Like 37th week, 36, 37 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. He was 5 pounds, 5 ounces. And the Democrats want to say that because he was taken out via C-section, because my wife had HELLP syndrome, she almost died, but we were able to get to the hospital. We knew the signs, and they took him out via C-section, saved both of their lives. And for some reason, Raylan, now taken out via C-section, has more rights than a baby still in the womb, but the same age. That, like, he, if you were created on the same exact day, if that zinc spark at fertilization happened on the same day, but you're still in your mother's womb, it is legal in I think 13 states now for a mother to go get an abortion. Why is it that my son at 38 weeks of development has more rights than a baby still in the mother's womb?
Ooh,
It
that's
is the same exact thing. It is just, it's like being in the hospital or being outside the hospital. That's the only difference. It is literally just space. And the Democrats think that just because it's like out of sight, out of mind, well, they can't argue for themselves, so therefore I can take their rights. I mean, I have yet to find somebody to debunk my argument, and I could go on about this forever. So maybe we shouldn't just,
Yeah, because I see this developing into a rabbit hole, but I do want to point out that a clump of cells on another planet is considered life by the Democrats, but not here in the United States. And I'm just going to leave it with that.
Yeah, and it's really heartbreaking. The main point was the Democrat Party being a demonic death cult, basically. And it is hard to deny that you are not the party of Satan when you are out in the open about saying that anybody who believes in Jesus Christ is not welcome at your rally.
If you were a true Christian, if you were at that rally, and if you're a true Christian and you stayed there, I'm going to cast the first stone and say you are not loyal to God, because no one in their right mind would have stayed there in that after she said that.
Damn, that dude's got a six-pack. Judo chop. He says it's a death cult for sure. I don't have a six-pack anymore. Yeah, that's top tier right there. He's probably older than me too. He's probably like 45 years old. It's like, ugh.
I'm working on that keg piece.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, I'm getting there again, maybe.
Yeah, I might just have to do carnivore a little bit.
Yeah, I've inspired 5 people around me to do the carnivore diet, and they've all lost weight. If I added up all the weight, it'd be well over 100 pounds that they've all lost. And every single one of them who has done the diet, after 2-3 weeks, they're like, holy shit, this is incredible. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't expect to feel that good either. But in all reality,
what's the cost behind it? Is it expensive to do carnivore, or?
Kind of, yeah. But it's not like a drastic difference, because it depends on what you spend your money on. See, 48. I was close. I said 45. He's 48. So I was right there. Yeah, hell yeah. So before I started the carnivore diet, I stopped at gas stations a lot. I'd get like energy drinks, cigarettes, and then we bought a lot of booze as well, that we would just drink. So once all that's cut out, and you take out the cost of booze, you take out the cost of cigarettes, you take out the cost of all the gas station stops where you're spending, you go get a couple energy drinks once or twice a day, and then all of a sudden you're spending $20-$30 a day on various things. Oh my gosh.
That was comment of the hour right there. So I don't know if people that can't see the screen, one of our followers said, if you are broke, you can try the Haitian carnivore diets. That was a good one. Bravo.
Hey, Jerome, I don't know if you were here last week when I shouted out your birthday, but I did wish you a happy birthday. So happy belated birthday if you missed it. I know that I think it was last week. It was like last Wednesday or last Tuesday. I think it was his birthday. But yeah, happy birthday, man. Yeah, I this whole group that is coming into 2024, the dream team is what they're calling it, right? It's Trump, it's JD Vance, RFK Jr., the entire MAHA movement, the Make America Healthy Again movement. People are starting to really wake up, and I think it's entirely because of something like X, where we can actually openly discuss these things and show evidence saying, hey, look at what's going on. These companies have been poisoning us. The reason why you feel so sick, the reason why you feel tired, the reason why you are getting sick once or twice every couple months is because of the food you're ingesting. All the anxious thoughts that you have, a lot of those is dictated by the sugar you ingest, by the carbohydrates you ingest. All of that stuff is dictated based on what you eat. And with what's been happening over the past many, many decades has just been, I guess, people just thinking that they wouldn't be trying to kill us. But now we kind of have opened the door and seen that they are. They're making your life shorter. They are making your life more miserable. They are making you overweight. They are making you anxious, tired, scared. And it's time to break away from that. So be like Judo Chop here, get a six pack, get healthy, and start fighting back, because the only way that we can fight back is from the bottom up. I stress this all the time, is that the change is going to come from the bottom up. It's yes, we have to vote for Donald Trump because it is going to make our pathway to success a lot better. But in all reality, it has to start with you. It has to start with you. It has to start with me. We have to make the change, because it will only happen if it starts from the bottom up. Of course, it's better if there's support at the top, but got a lot to do.
Definitely. And like some people were pointing out in the comments, if we didn't have X right now, the communication, the mass communication between people understanding how big pharma and the food industry are essentially hand in hand. The food industry is creating these processed foods to help out, with the ease of purchasing products. They're very fast, very cheap. Eventually you continuously eat those processed foods, and then you become a customer of Big Pharma. Big Pharma doesn't want to help you out. Big Pharma they want you as a customer. And this has been going on for a very long time. Now, I was kind of joking about the keg and all that stuff. I do need to lose weight, but I'm cognizant of it. Say 10 years ago, maybe I wouldn't be, because the environment that I was exposed to, I wasn't exposed to people telling me about Big Pharma and the corruption and all of this stuff behind it.
All right, you guys, I actually want to take a little break here, but when we come back, I want to talk about some of the grifters and disinformation rage merchants on X, because this has been a big problem that I've been seeing, and there's a lot of nefarious actions that they take to be very subversive into making a lot of money off of tricking you into commenting and having that kind of I guess subversive message that they portray as genuine, but it is in no way genuine. So we will talk about that when we get back. I just got to find the video here really quick, so give me just a second.
Hey, if you guys are watching this, make sure you share this broadcast so we can get as many views as we can. Appreciate y'all.
Yep, we are trying to grow here. I mean, we have a lot of really cool big things planned for this podcast. I mean, one of them is we will be going down to you know what? I don't want to reveal that yet.
No,
yeah,
not
I don't
yet.
want we'll do something cooler to break that news. But we got a lot of cool things coming up. So, short break. We'll be back in just a minute. Thank you, guys.
A movement that transcends politics, a vision for a stronger, united America, built on the belief that financial empowerment and political engagement can come together. Introducing the Trump token, America's cryptocurrency, a digital currency that embodies the spirit of innovation and the strength of American values. With a pledge to donate significantly towards Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, America's cryptocurrency. Coming soon. Visit thetrumptoken.com to learn more.
Since the beginning of time, all living creatures rely on the sun source of natural light to grow and to help promote overall wellness. We are all light beings. The patches are all natural and drug-free that uses the body's own natural light to help promote general health and wellness. How it works. Simply place the patch on specific points on your body and where the patch is placed on your skin. It reflects back into the body when it's tapped into its own flow of natural energy, which in turn creates the GHK-Cu copper peptide, which rejuvenates your cells and gives you a more younger, healthier you.
So that stuff is really cool. I actually got a box from the owner there, and he had sent it to me to try it out, and I have to do like a video of it, but it is very, very cool. So the two sponsors that we have there, all of the links are in the description, you guys. That will help us grow the show, and that way we can do the big things that we're already planning on some big things, but we want to do a lot more. It is going to be a lot of fun. So, hey man, I'm looking forward to the future of this podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
And one day we won't just be, struggling to get in here last minute after we get off of, from our day job, but this is something we plan to do a little bit closer to full time, along with different kind of activism and fighting for this country, and not have to, I guess, do our day jobs as of like what we do right now. We want to grow beyond that and actually take part in the political nature.
Yes.
You know, I put out a video today in how there's so many working components in this country, and it is so important for all of us to do our part. And there are times like, man, I mean, it feels like I don't do enough. You know, I mean, there's times where I wish that, whether it be I get more views or I would like to touch the hearts of more people and reach out to them and hopefully inspire them to do better in their own lives and to fight for this country, because we have something really, really special here that, man, we have to do everything in our power to save it. But yeah, we have lots of plans on growing. So
Yeah, and we're just getting started. I mean, we are on episode 5, and currently we're at 6,800 views. I think it's a great start, and this, the way this builds is if you guys spread the word and promote and help us, it's just amazing. Me personally, I would love to do this full time. I don't know if this is in the cards, but what we're trying to do right now is just spread a message, be a voice, and use our platforms for good. Now, speaking of using platforms for good, I think this is a good transition to our main topic of the night and the state-sponsored grifters that are flooding X right now.
yeah, if you guys are having a hard time reading, I had posted a tweet earlier today. I said these rage merchants are making 5,000 plus a week off of getting you mad enough to respond. Now, this is from JoJo from Jers. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this account if you have an X account, but there are specific tactics that they use to enrage you enough. And it's not as overt as you would think it is, because they'll do like little lies. They'll do subtle little things so they won't get community noted, and so they can make a ton of money off of this. But JoJo from Jers, she made this post the other day. She said, "Hey MAGA, men aren't in girls' bathrooms, but Donald Trump has bragged about being in girls' dressing rooms. Did you want to talk about that or not?" This post is specifically designed for engagement from right-wingers.
Yes, absolutely. And you can see on the post, 486,000 impressions, 4,200 reposts. But here's the kicker: it's the 1,700 comments that are underneath. And what this is doing is it drives engagement. Now, she does have, I believe, 1 million followers, I believe.
Yeah, she's
But
got quite a few now.
1,700. Go ahead.
She's built it off of this tactic right here, because she is actually paid behind the scenes. At least I would imagine. I don't have proof that she's paid behind the scenes to do this, but she does follow the same exact narrative as many others that I see on there. So the best thing that you can do is to not engage with accounts like this, with accounts that are intentionally saying something wrong. Like, obviously there are men in girls' bathrooms, and you can give 1,000 examples of that. But the reasons that she says that, and she puts it in quotes, is so she won't get community noted. This is actually an incredibly smart tweet, because, I mean, I don't know what it's at right now. It's probably at way more than 486,000. This was actually like a day or two ago. But they design these tweets, and I would imagine that they would probably have a whole team behind them doing, like, composing tweets and experimenting with how to get conservatives to get triggered enough to comment, because that's an easy response. Like, most people know, like, no, this example, you're so stupid. Well, the problem with doing that is all of a sudden now you trigger the algorithm to push this more, and more people will see this and get enraged by it. And then they're getting $5,000-$10,000 every week to post garbage like this.
Absolutely. So just, okay. So 1,700 comments. Imagine if each person had, say, 10 to 20,000 followers, just to say. Then those people that follow those people will see that comment, and it's almost a pyramid scheme how they're working this. It's completely obvious what they're trying to do. I think she 100% believes everything that she posts? Probably, because when you get into that mindset, I'm pretty sure that this bitch is this crazy, to be quite honest. The other people that do it, and someone commented, is the Krasenstein brothers. Full block, 100% did that. They actually created. You were a Brooklyn dad too, yes. But the Krasenstein brothers, they created a community. I think it was called Fact Checkers Unite. And what they're doing is they're creating these large rooms for mass reporting of conservative accounts, which I fully believe is why I got demonetized a few cycles ago. Luckily, I was able to fight in there, like, there's nothing wrong with your account. So it was no post, no nothing, just a very generic email. So what am I supposed to believe? It's mass reporting. That's what these people are doing. They're targeting conservatives, so the people like JoJo and Brooklyn, they can take a bigger piece of the pie.
Yep. Harry Sisson does the same thing, and I am, as far as I can tell, I Am Politics Girl is right there with them. This is actually someone that I've been kind of talking about lately, and she's actually responded a couple times and kind of accusing me of and my followers of being, like, mean to her. She's like,
okay, I'm an asshole. Get over it.
Yeah, but I mean, she puts out, like, blatant disinformation, and actually, I gotta show you. I have to show you this clip, because this is one of the funnier things. Let's see.
Cringe.
Let me put it up for you. So this is I Am Politics Girl. She does record these videos like she's, like an everyday middle class mom. Like, yeah, I'm going through the same struggles as you.
Like a trad wife.
Yeah, she tries that. Yeah, exactly. That's what she's trying to pose as. But she is a extreme leftist who came here from Canada and is now, like, all in for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. I mean, the way that she shills for the Democratic Party is actually surprising as to how she is able to frame everything that it is always the Republicans' fault and the Democrats are always the good guys, and they're getting beat down by the mean Republicans. And it's like, like, it is hard to even speak that language, because I don't like Republicans or Democrats, generally speaking. Right. I think that there's we the people versus the government. And then Trump is like an outsider who came in running as a Republican, so I'm going to support him. But I don't support Republicans for the sake of them saying that they're a Republican. I don't give two shits about that. The Lindsey Grahams, the Mitch McConnells, all these the Liz Cheneys. Oh gosh, all these warmongering, evil
the establishment people. Puke. That's what they are. They are scum, straight up scum, dude.
Fuck those people. No, it is we the people. And that's what we have to get back to. We have to understand that this is bigger than Democrat or Republican. I will never say that I'm a Republican, because I am a free-thinking patriot of this country. I love this country and I want it to succeed, not for the military-industrial complex or the sake of one party winning. I don't care about that at all. If we are going to succeed, we have to get beyond that. That's what this whole MAGA Maha movement is about. It's uniting the sane, critical thinkers of this country and moving beyond party politics where you just blame the D's and if you're a Democrat, the R's are doing all these mean things to us. And if we only had total control, we'd be able to get everything done. Anyway, I'll let you listen to what she says, because this is very telling of exactly what is behind. I don't know if this is, I can't believe she actually posted this.
Oh
First
God,
of all,
I have not seen this video either. Oh, I'm get a barf bag.
Trump's rally outside of Coachella, he talked about how it won't end well for anyone who tries to destroy our country. It won't end well. He's threatening us. Trump's rally outside of Coachella, he talked about how it won't end well for anyone who...
Did you catch that?
Okay.
It won't end well for anyone who tries to destroy our country.
Tries to destroy our country. It won't end well. He's threatening us.
She said he's threatening us. She's saying she's trying to destroy the country. She literally said it. I can't believe she said that out loud and posted it as if that was like a win or something.
I was like, oh, fucking give me another reason to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Like, man, dude, it's crazy with the... Oh. So there is a fracture in the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. There are people that are recognizing the establishment deep state, and they are coming together. So this is the unity party, or the America First party, and this is what they're fearing right now, because this country hasn't been so united behind a cause from both parties in a very long time. RFK Jr., Tulsi, all of these people, yes, they might have some liberal ideals. Maybe I might have some too. I'm pretty much a right winger extremist, but whatever. At least I'm not a racist shitbag like these Democrats. But anyways, so this movement is us, the people. A billionaire is backing us. But you know what? This billionaire is more relatable than anyone in the Democrat Party, because he's actually been arrested. He's been through the two-tier justice system. He's been shot at from what I'm presuming is a deep state operatives. He is getting attacked because Donald Trump is the only one that can save this country from tyranny, and they know it. And probably a lot of Epstein people are going to jail, but I'll stay off of that.
Well, yeah, that's a big thing going around recently as well, is that the people that have been filmed, all the celebrities that have been filmed with Diddy, are all of a sudden coming out and shilling for Kamala Harris. You see that with Usher. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Really quick, I had a guy up here. Hold on, let me find the comment again. This was a good point. So he said, I hope her paychecks covers her soul. And in Mark 8:36, it says, what does a man gain the whole world to lose his soul? And in all reality, there's a lot of people right now that are just seeking a paycheck and basically damning their soul to hell by saying what they say and doing what they do, and promoting this death cult that has taken a hold of people with you can blatantly see that the left right now, they hate family. They do not want you to get married. They don't want a man. They don't want a man and woman getting married under God. They don't. They promote the promiscuous culture. It's and the girl boss. Instead of being a wife and a mother, they would rather say you should be like Chelsea Handler and try to make as much money as you can. So that way, when you're in your 40s and 50s, however old she is, I don't know. I think she's in her 50s. You can sit around, smoke weed, drink booze, and masturbate all day, and think that that's going to be a pathway to any kind of fulfillment. When in all reality, she's going to die at 70, 80, 90 years old alone. She's going to have no kin. All her friends are going to be dead or gone, and she's going to be sitting in her deathbed wondering, what the hell did I do with my life? Because now her bloodline ends. That's it. All of the ancestors that she has, if you go back, 100 generations, the thousands and thousands of ancestors that she has, all got to this point for her to end it because she wanted to smoke weed and drink booze and masturbate all day. And that's apparently a good life, is what they say.
And you know what?
Nope.
The people like that, they are so ingrained in themselves and this culture that they've been brainwashed with that they're never going to publicly admit this. They are going to be miserable on their deathbed. And instead of people speaking out and saying, "Look, I was completely wrong," they're not going to do anything about it.
Hey, Thaddeus, yes, do that. Go for it. Go on the carnivore diet, get in shape, and find a woman, marry her, have kids.
I
Yeah,
found
that-
actually, I found my wife on Match.com, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, sir. And I've
How
never
long were you on
disclosed
Match.com?
for 2 days.
Well, how about that? I
4
got
weeks
you beat.
later, we were 4 weeks later we were married, and now it's been
Oh, shit.
12 years.
Oh my gosh.
12 years. Yes.
Okay, well, maybe you got me beat, but
Mhm.
so I met my wife on Tinder. She was the first woman I matched with, and I went on a date with her, and as soon as I met her, because we talked on the phone for a couple days before we were able to meet,
Right.
and as soon as I met her, I realized, I was like, this is someone that I really think is going to work. Now, I won't say that it was like love at first sight. I don't know if I necessarily believe in that. I've kind of changed my tune on that because
Mhm.
it takes work, right? Marriage
Definitely.
in a lot of ways is work. Relationships in general, it's work.
Mhm.
And so when I started to get to know her, first of all, I realized that she had like a very soft spirit, and that
Mhm.
she was going to be willing to work with me, because one of the first things I told her is, well, I said, I have to warn you. This is actually one of the first things I said to my wife. I said, I have to warn you, I'm very patriotic. And
That's so awesome.
like
Did
the
you
first,
roll up to your first date like blasting Toby Keith?
I didn't have a radio in my truck, so no,
Were you just singing it?
probably.
Yeah, then you're a damn patriot. Okay.
Yep. Oh, hell yeah. But I mean, the first picture I sent, I had like an American flag shirt on, and
Mhm.
I just had to warn her, because it's like, hey, you're gonna have to deal with this at some point, so I'm just gonna tell you up front. But then I like, as we started dating, I told her, I want a stay-at-home wife. I want a mother who is going to turn our house into a home, like traditional housewife, right?
Right.
And she was a little hesitant at first, because she didn't believe that she could do it, and that actually inspired me, because she was working and going to school when I first met her. And I was like, I don't want you to do any of that. I want you to be able to run the household.
Mhm.
And just by her work ethic alone, I saw that she had the drive to push herself. And I'm like, she didn't know how to cook when I first met her. Now she cooks all of our meals, and she does a phenomenal job at it. But it was one of those things where, like, when I spoke to her about a disagreement, we could actually discuss, like, okay, all right, this is where you went wrong, and this is where I went wrong. And then we kind of move forward past that, because we both have the understanding that, hey, we want to make this work for
Mhm.
both of us in the long run. So we're actually a team, and we're going to be, we're in this for the long haul. That's what marriage is
Yeah.
supposed to be. And it's been great, man. So I didn't marry her for until 3 years after I met her. So that's
Okay.
so I
Acceptable,
matched
right,
with
not 4
her.
weeks.
Yeah. I met her on the first day, or excuse me, she was my first match online, and the only one that I went and seen. And I mean, it's been great ever since. I got extremely lucky with that. So online dating, I hear horror stories now, but yes, Thaddeus, do that. Make yourself great. Find a great woman. It's going to
Yep,
happen.
absolutely.
Yes, that is the way it's supposed
Yeah.
to work, but our society now has decided that being a
Mhm.
girl boss is somehow beneficial. This is one of the I have so many problems with society, but this is probably the main one that I have, because I have a family member who um, is in a long-term relationship, and he ended up getting a vasectomy, right? Because they're like, I never want to have kids, and they're not married, but it blew my mind that that was even a possibility. But they went out and they got 4 dogs to like ease their parental like needs, like the woman there in the household. She like throws birthday parties and shit for the dogs, and I'm like, that's her motherly instincts coming out.
Correct.
You guys are like just shoving down those feelings, placating it with dogs for now, but like this shit's gonna go downhill in 20 years when all of a sudden,
Yes.
you know, oh, I can't imagine it, but it is one of the great lies told by our society today that it's not, that somehow polygamous or polygamy is better than marriage. Okay, first of all, sex in marriage is 100% better than rando sex with rando people. All right. I'll guarantee that. I'll go up against anybody with that. And secondly, it is so much better to have a significant other to come home to, and like we work it out. So whenever I get home, my wife greets me. If she sees me when I pull up, she'll come outside. If I walk in the door, she'll stand up and come over and kiss me. That is one of the best things that has drastically helped our relationship, just because it's like, I'm going to stop what I'm doing to address you. How was your day? We sit there and talk for a couple minutes, you know, and it is, it's so much better. And plus you get to carry on the bloodline.
Right. And plus, also another thing too, if you're having issues like back in 2020, I was pretty rough. Post deployment stuff was really coming back. I was getting really drunk, like a lot. And my wife actually pointed this stuff out to me, and I finally got the help that I needed. I was in therapy at the VA for a decade, and nothing. I was shoving everything down and all of this, and she actually was there for me at my lowest point in my life. And whenever, if you have someone to be able to be there for you at the lowest point in your life, that is unconditional love.
That's one of the best parts about marriage is that you just don't get to run away when times get hard. You're actually, when you take marriage seriously and you're in a covenant under God, that I've heard people say that marriage is supposed to be like 50-50, like you're supposed to put in like half the effort and then the other person half the effort. No, it's supposed to be 100-100, and that you're supposed to serve your partner and they're supposed to serve you in as many ways as possible. And you have specific roles and it's laid out. Like the woman is a homemaker. And I mean, you know, Steve, this podcast kind of went in a different direction.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, but you know what? In all reality, there are more important things than politics from day to day. Because yes, there's going to be a million things that we could talk about with politics every single day that is stupid. We can point out the grifters, and we should do that. We should point out those stupid grifters. The I Am Politics lady, the Brooklyn dad, Harry Sisson, JoJo from Jers. I'm sure that there's, I think, No Lie with Tyler Cohen. All of those people suck, and they will lie deliberately to your face, and they will incentivize everything they can out of you to respond, even with the little white lies that they tell, so that way they can get more money. We should call those people out, but you know what's the most important thing is for you to have your life in order, so that way you can be strong enough to fight. Donald Trump, when he stood up after he got shot in the ear, okay, he took a bullet for this country. He stood up and he said, fight, fight, fight. The way that you're going to be able to do that is if you have something to fight for. It is all well and good fighting for country, but I'll tell you what, with the family that I have behind me and the friends that I have behind me, Satan himself could not make me step aside for them. I will absolutely fight until the day I die, because I want my children to succeed. I need my wife to succeed, and I will do everything in my power to make that happen. So this podcast did go in a little bit different direction, but you know what? There's more important things in politics every single day. And that's actually why I enjoy your company, Steve, because you understand those things. It's like, yes, politics, we have to push that message. We have to say, it is time to fight for Donald Trump to get him in office, because we have to inspire as many people as we possibly can to vote, because there's been a significant lack of participation. But beyond that, marriage, family, friends, having a successful life, being healthy, being strong, being able to take care of yourself and others is the only way. Like I say, change comes from the bottom up, not the top down.
And I believe that Donald Trump is a very he for lack of better terms, he has a reason why he says everything. And in my opinion, there's a reason why he said fight 3 times. Fight for yourself, fight for your family, and fight for your country. Whenever you fight for those 3 things right there, that's how you make America great again. When you put America first, when you fight for your own beliefs, when you fight for your family, where men can't go into women's restrooms or boys don't have fucking tampons in their restrooms, that you have to protect your family and your children. You protect your castle. And then once you protect your castle, then you can go out and you can protect, per se, other people. You can, if your foundation is solid, that is when you can actually go out and fight against these other demons that are out there. Because when your foundation, your castle is strong, your castle can take those arrows. Your castle can take those arrows for a very long time because you always have that queen or that prince that is at your home to be there for you whenever you're wounded in battle.
That's actually probably
So
one of the most
fight,
important
damn it.
things. And what you said about being at the lowest point in your life and your wife coming to your rescue. I mean, that is one of the most beautiful things about marriage is that your wife is strong when you need her to be, and you're strong when she needs you to be. And those things, like there's a reason, man. There's a reason that God said that he sent woman to be man's helper. Right now,
Yes.
it's not like it's not a degrading thing that God says that woman is man's helper, because in all reality, we build each other up and we can be way stronger than you will ever be on your own.
Mhm.
I saw I started watching this guy on YouTube. His name is Asmongold, right? He has like millions of followers. He
Mhm.
streams on Twitch like an insane amount. He's lived his life in the most disgusting way. Like, he has millions and millions of dollars and he still lives with his parents. His room is disgusting. He drinks a bunch of soda every day. There's like cockroaches. I mean, his house was like lit. It was gross, like really, really gross. And he almost took pride in that. He took pride in like playing that role, in just being who he was when he was like a young, immature child. But recently
Right.
he got banned off of Twitch. And it was because
Mm.
he said something about Palestine and that, they throw gays off rooftops and whatever he said.
They do.
But he
But
got, yeah. But he got banned off of Twitch, and he put out this apology video.
Mhm.
And I saw a bunch of reflection on his life and how he's been screwing it up. So it feels like I saw that he was like carrying this burden for a long time. It almost seemed like he was playing that role. And if you guys know who I'm talking about, this guy reminded me of a quote in saying that some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Wow. That is profound.
All the millions of dollars that he has, he was stuck in this role playing that character. Now, granted, he may have been that character early on in his streaming career. He may have been lazy,
Right.
wanted to sit at home and play video games all day, accrued this giant following, got millions of
Mhm.
dollars, but like continued on that role. But now that he got banned, he was able to take a step back and reevaluate his life and saying like,
Right.
holy shit, I have like all I have is money. Like, what's he gonna buy? He's gonna go buy a cool car. All right, what are you gonna do with it? Drive around at the speed limit, or go faster and get a ticket? That'll be cool. Or kill yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, money is
How
not
how
going to
old is he?
fulfill you. 30. He's in his mid 30s, so around my age.
So, okay. Man, uh, th this is a societal issue, and we've talked about this before. People's purpose in life. So what they attacked was God, then the household, starting with the head of the household, the masculinity, and then the femininity, and then thereafter the children right now. And every time you separate from your purpose in life, because everyone has a purpose, and we kind of touched on that a little bit with women being nurturers, men are the providers. and each time everyone or each person of that particular group separates from what their purpose or their intention in life is, that's when they become depressed. They start acting out. They start saying stupid shit. Is because they don't have purpose and drive in their life, and they are doing anything they can to create the dopamine that you would normally get when you're in a normal setting.
You know, I feel like we've been programmed, and you're probably in this you're definitely in this generation too. Of you're not that
Again, I missed that.
yeah, I said you're not that old. But you're in the generation of growing up watching these movies where like the dad was a bumbling idiot who was divorced, and
Yes.
it's like they programmed fatherhood for one, the fathers to be absolutely useless pieces of garbage that had no idea how to handle kids, and for
Mhm.
two, had no idea how to lead a family because the girls were always the bosses that like left the husband, and they're like, I know how to do everything with the kids, and look, the dad's such an idiot, and
Mhm.
look at his mess of his life. He can't even cook
Right.
at home without lighting the stove on fire. All this dumb shit, like all the movies and TV shows when I was growing up, that's what it was. The dad was always an idiot. And that is not the way it is supposed to be. The father is supposed to be the provider, the
Mhm.
protector, and the one who prepares for the future. You are called to be competent. You are called to be more than you are today. Because right now
Yeah.
you are not good enough. Thaddeus, what you said earlier, it really hit this spot in my mind, saying that yeah, you're not good enough right now. And so when you said I need to get in shape and get a woman, it's like, okay, yes, go do it. But you have to be stronger than you are right now. You have to be more
Yes.
competent than you are right now. So you have to start reading. You have to start lifting weights. You have to start doing shit, right? Like I don't know what you do right now, but man, it is important that you, once you see that goal and once you hear that calling, because that didn't just come from us. It's also it's in your heart. It's
Correct.
calling you. Once you hear that calling, it's time to go do it. It's time to get on that mission yesterday, but today's when you start because that's the only time you can.
And it's an internal thing too, because when I was going through my issues, it was a decade that I was like not noticing how I was acting. You know,
Mhm.
I became a monster, for lack of better terms, and I did not realize that until one day it just absolutely clicked. And the only reason why I am where I am today is because I noticed that, and I decided in my own heart to make that change to be the man that I thought I was. So you can say that you can find a woman. You can get in shape. It takes the intestinal fortitude and the heart of a person to actually want to be a betterment of themselves. That's why when I see these shit posters that are on X that are just absolutely making thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just by selling their soul, because they don't have the best interest of what's for America. They're in it for the money, and they want to say conservatives are grifters and all this shit. But no, you have these people, these scumbags that are posting specific things on X to drive conservative emotions because they know how conservatives think, how they operate, and how they feel. And they are doing this to trick you, and they are making money off of you. So that should
A
piss you
lot of
off.
money.
Stop engaging with those people. Block them, mute them, whatever. Don't comment. Screenshot their post and make your own post if you want to speak truth on them. But don't give them your time of day to make money off of you.
And this is one of the good things about, this is one of the downfalls of X, but that's going to happen anywhere. People
Mm,
will take advantage. If there's a way to make money, people are going to take advantage of it. And the people trying to be honest and actually do good for this country, like neither Steve, I met Steve on X before we knew we were going to make money from this. Like neither of us were making money off of ad revenue. Neither of us were a creator at the time.
nope.
And we were just posting, and we had found each other on X, and like, hey, I like your message. And he's like, I like your message. I'm like, hell yeah. Well, let's keep talking. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, now we have a podcast together because we have that greater mission that we want to achieve,
Right.
because we've actually been in this from the beginning to make this country better. And both being working men, having wives and a kid, it is important to find that middle ground where we're doing our best to serve the country without overstepping and like I don't know how to say this exactly. I guess biting off more than we can chew, right? Like we don't know everything, and we know that we don't know everything, but we know that what we see out there is wrong. And we know that there's a lot of you out there that agree with us, that agree that what they've been doing to us is wrong. And finally, we have a voice to be able to find all of the patriots out there and actually know that we are this, that we've been the silent majority. It's always been said, but now we know. And now it's time to not be that silent majority anymore. And it's time to take action. So Steve, man, I actually love the way this conversation went.
Yeah, we're about to talk about McDonald's and the Five Guys meme that was going on with Dave Rubin. That was actually a fantastic
Gold.
tweet. But anyways, and like it just kind of segued. I think that's the beauty of this podcast is we have a generalized idea, and we don't like the other podcasts. They will actually like structure out the show and like, okay, at the 13th minute we're going to talk about this, and we don't do that because I believe me and you are great conversationalists. You're in my opinion, you're spoken than I am. I'm a great writer, but I'm a good yin to your yang, and we can actually hold a conversation, an intellectual conversation together. Hopefully, once you move to Texas, then we can have like an in studio type atmosphere, because then I think that's when like face to face interactions is where the thriving really happens, because you get that instant emotion and not the 2-second lag that we get here. So that when we're like kind of talking on top of each other, it's not like we're trying, oh, I'm taking the mic. No, it's just the way it kind of works out. We kind of overspeak each other, but in person, I think the future, that would be the way to go.
And I think that will be the future. And once Trump gets into office and we start growing even more. Again, you guys, I appreciate every like, comment, and share. If you're on Rumble, please hit the like button. And if you guys are watching on X, please just jump over to Rumble, watch us there, give us a like, give us a follow. I really, really appreciate it, because I mean, that's the way that we're going to grow. And I know that X right now, as far as live podcast goes, this isn't the best way to monetize it. We do have a couple of sponsors, and we've actually been talking with a new one as well, with actually a good buddy of ours. So, we'll see where that goes. And I'm really looking forward to that and growing this podcast and, finding more patriots to have conversations with. I love the comments that we had tonight. I do want to correct you, Amber, though. It's Maurice. It's close, but yeah, Maurice. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for sharing this podcast and sitting here with us tonight. We're not always going to just be talking about the politics of the day, although it is fun to talk about. There are some deeper things in life that matter more, and plus, history. We're gonna have to go into Chief Sit and Bull on Wednesday, because we've been putting off going into history, and we need to do that. People need to know all these cool figures that lived in the past that have these awesome stories. Yeah, so
it's been like such a crazy news cycle too over these last couple of weeks, and the election's about to happen. So it makes it really difficult, because the closer and closer we get to the election, the more and more rapid and fast the news is going to be, and more controversies that are going to arise, and we potentially have to address.
And fake ones. Beware the fake controversies that are being pushed.
That's why I did air quotes. People on Rumble can't see that, or Spotify if they're listening, but man.
Oh, okay. Amber says it was autocorrect. It's all good. Chief Seattle. Yeah. Chief Seattle had one of his most famous quotes was one day the white man will come to find out that the God that they worship and the God that we worship is the same, something along those lines. But that's actually something that I really believe in. And this is one of the reasons why I was able to kind of step into Christianity. I mean, because I was raised with no religion, but
Mhm.
like if I were to think of all the Native Americans that lived here before the Christians came over and gave them the Bible, like what did they believe? And the way Chief Seattle had said that was,
Mhm.
they believed in the same God. They just didn't, they didn't understand that it was Jesus Christ that they were looking for.
Mm.
And I don't, it's just, it's fascinating to look into, but yeah, we can go over Chief Seattle. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people, man. There's,
Oh, it's endless. Well,
yep.
not endless, but we can really discuss a lot of culture of this country that people want to, take away. This is American history that we need to keep alive. And plus, it
Absolutely.
helps me out too, knowing I know like Billy the Kid and things like that, but learning about natives. This is the whole point of the podcast is to learn and understand what's happened in history and how it applies to nowadays times.
Yeah, and I mean history. They say history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So
Mm,
if we learn more about history and what they experienced and the hardships that they went through,
mhm.
you won't fall into the wokeness trap because I'll tell you what, most of human history is rough, man. All
Yeah. It wasn't soy lattes and PlayStations around back in
yeah,
medieval times. They're
it wasn't
slashing each other's
cowboys
faces
and
off.
it. Yeah, it wasn't cowboys and Indians, talking with each other over a podcast. It was cowboys fighting Indians because they were new to each other, encroaching on each other's territory, fighting for resources, different color skin. I mean, many things that were like, ugh, I wouldn't want to be alive back in that time because that was a really rough time. So the more we learn about history, the better we will be in the future. And it is always fun to work out your brain and figure out exactly what happened in human history so we don't fall for this woke identity politics nonsense, believing that because I have brown skin and because Steve has white skins, we can't be friends because his ancestors supposedly conquered my ancestors. And now I'm supposed to be pissed at Steve about that. I refuse that narrative.
Do not be like Lakota Man. Just be the
Oh,
exact
God,
opposite of him.
I forgot
That's
about him.
incredible. How could you forget about him, man?
He blocked me like a year ago or
Oh
a year
yeah,
and a
he
half.
blocked me too.
He blocks a lot of people. I think most people are blocked by Lakota Man. I wonder. Oh, you know what? That is changing. Anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. Visit us on rumble.com/the Patriots Prayer. We have an entire network, as you can see up in the top right here. We have a bunch of podcast hosts. You will see various streams on our pages. If you want to find our streams on X, you can follow me at La Native Patriot. That's LA Native Patriot. Steve at Steve Loves Ammo on X. We stream almost all of the podcast hosts that are going right now on the Patriots Prayer Network. It's just a network of patriots that we believe
Mhm.
their races should be raised. We are trying to bring the working man's voice into the narrative because it has been these political pundits, these media personalities, these liars and grifters that are bought and compromised, the skin suit media that has been just wearing that skin suit of
Mhm.
legacy media, pretending to inform you when in all reality they want to control you. The working man needs to make a comeback, and we're trying to do everything in our power to do it. So, the Patriots Prayer Network, you can follow us. You can follow it on X at The Patriots Pray, on rumble.com at The Patriots Prayer. We are building a network of patriots, and we're going a long ways. So, we appreciate you guys following us, joining us tonight. And if you can, please share the message. Steve, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, I think we about covered it tonight. I really enjoyed this conversation. And I
Me
look
too,
forward
brother.
to the future of this podcast. So, if you guys, like Maurice was saying, if you can subscribe to the Patriots Prayer, follow our accounts, do whatever you can to help spread the good word. We appreciate everything from you guys.
We'll stay hard working for all of you because in all reality, we need more men to step up, and we're trying to be the ones that are stepping up right now. So thank you guys. God bless. Take care. We'll see you on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. God bless, guys.
Dusty plains and broken dreams. Cowboys and Indians on the same team. We got no masters, only our creed to break the chains and set us free. Riders on the prairie, wild and free. Bows and arrows, cold 45's decree. No more tyranny, no more lies. Under open skies we rise. Fight, fight, fight till we reclaim the night. Cowboys and Indians in the blazing light. Fight, fight, fight till the dawn is near. We'll never live in fear. On the blood moon, we all unite. Horses thunder in the night. No longer slaves to the empire's might. Strength in numbers, strength in rise. On the blood moon, we unite. Horses thunder in the night.